What is going on, YouTube? Lamont at Large. Today we're in Covina, California. Right behind me, a brutal crime occurred almost 50 years ago. A young lady tells her mother, hey, I'm going to go to the movies. She makes a quick drive from their house to that movie. Her mother never seen her ever again. We're going to go back to August 26, 1976. 18-year-old Cynthia Mae Hernandez, commonly referred to by her friends and family as Cindy, well, she is not feeling too hot that day. The reason why is because she had just had an audition with the Citrus Singers. I guess it's some kind of choir group at the Citrus Community College here in this area. She is planning on going to school there for music. She went to the audition and she just doesn't feel that it went well. So she tells her mom, I don't think I'm gonna be accepted in there. And you know, she probably wants to vent. She probably just needs somebody to talk to, as a young woman would, right? So she calls her friend and she says, hey, you want to go to a movie? You know, she wants to get out of the house. She doesn't want to think about how badly she thinks the audition went. So her friend tells her, like, I totally would go with you, except I'm in Palm Springs right now. So she calls her boyfriend, and of all the days where he would not go with her to the movies, that particular day, he's in bed, he's sick, he ain't feeling too hot. She can't seem to find anybody that wants to go to the movies with her. So finally, she just says, I'm just gonna go myself. So she goes to the Fox Twin Theaters, which is where I'm standing right now. Now, obviously it's long gone. It is now the parking lot for Home Depot, which is behind me, but 211 North Azusa Avenue, this was where the Fox Twin Theaters used to sit. So she wants to see The Omen. It just came out and she's gonna go to the movies. She tells her mom, you know, I'll be back later, whatever. She hops in her 1963 Chevy station wagon and heads to the movies. She should be back, you know, maybe 7, 8 o'clock. I don't know if she had a curfew, but you know, she's a responsible girl and she should be back. And it starts getting late, 9, 10 p.m. The family starts getting really worried. This is not like Cynthia to be hanging around outside too late. Cindy's family comes to the location where the Fox Theater is. When they get to the parking lot, there's only a few cars. And they see Cindy's car, it's backed up in a spot against the wall. Now, immediately, her mother feels that something's wrong because Cindy, she wasn't good at backing in to parking spaces. As a matter of fact, she would often avoid it if she could. That wasn't a thing that she did. So they would call the police out here. Now, at that time, when you report somebody missing, the police, they're not gonna jump on it right away. So it'd be a few days before they, you know, let all of the officers know, hey, this girl is missing. The family printed out hundreds, if not thousands of flyers and put them all over business windows in and around Covina, West Covina, San Dimas, Azusa, all of that. And so would begin the long, long nightmare of Cindy's friends and family wondering, good Lord, what happened to her? Where is she? And for many, many, many years, nobody would know. Nobody would know. Fast forward to October 14th, 1976, and we're now about 50 miles away. We're in Twin Peaks, California, north of San Bernardino, right next to Lake Arrowhead. There's a man up there and he's camping out. He has his dog with him. His dog is playing around, and he notices that his dog is fussing with something. He doesn't know what it is. It looks weird, whatever it is. So as he gets a closer look, to his horror, he sees that it's a human skull. So immediately he calls the police. They come out there and they pick up the skull, and well, they take it back to their evidence locker room. They're looking at it and trying to ascertain where it came from. Now, at first, they felt that, and this is probably without doing any testing, that it came from an Indian burial ground because, well, there was one very close by. So they probably thought that an animal had dug up a grave, a shallow grave, or something along those lines. However, as they did some kind of anthropological test on it, it was quickly determined that it was not from an Indian burial ground, but we don't know what DNA is at the time. So they just basically have it as a Jane Doe. They don't know whose skull it is. So we fast forward yet again. So we're going to go to 1977. It's November 19th. Two girls are walking down the street, and they're on their way to a party. So three guys stop by. They're like, hey, what are you doing? Where are you going? What's the party at? Blah, blah, blah. These three guys, Larry James Allred, Donald White, and Grant Wettelings, they grab the girls, throw them in their vehicle, and they take them up to Larry's family's cabin up in Twin Peaks, where they hold these girls for over the course of, I think, 2 or 3 days, raping them repeatedly. Now, as they let the girls go, Larry picks up what looks like some kind of a bone, and he shakes it at the girls, and he says, if you guys tell anybody about this, you're gonna end up like this person. I've killed before, and I'll kill again. The hell with that. So they get the hell out of there, and they contact the police. The police go, make the rounds, and arrest all three individuals. Now, at this time now, Larry already has a rape charge on his record. Now, they're doing a search of the cabin, and I think one of the guys that was arrested, because it wasn't clear in the story which guy it was, but I believe one of the guys that was arrested for the rape, he tells the officer that there's like these bones in the cabin, and that Larry had talked about killing somebody before. So they go and they're like looking all over the place. They can't find anything. So they start going underneath the cabin, and sure enough, they grab, I think, about 5 or 6 human rib bones. That's all there was. Now they're asking him about it. Hey, what is this? I don't know. He doesn't know anything. So as time goes by, you have, in their evidence lockup room, you have a human skull and ribs. However, they would not be able to link the two together until 2009. Now you have DNA technology, and I guess a detective just kind of going through old cases, went into the locker, grabbed the bones and the skull, and tested it, and they both came back as belonging to the same person. However, they still don't know who the person is. And this time now, Larry has already been released. So you fast forward to 2014, and cops forget they got other cases they got to deal with. So Gloria Densham, who is the mother of Cindy, she, knock, 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 going back to the Glendale Police Department's office and say, hey, listen, I'm getting older. I don't got much time left on earth. What's going on with my daughter's case? Mind you guys, at this time now, her daughter's been missing for what now, going on 37, 38 years? So one of the detectives just, gets a swab from Gloria and I believe the Cindy's younger sister, and matches it to the skull and the ribs. So 2014, now we have a positive identification. Those ribs and skull belong to Cynthia May Hernandez. So now they want to talk to Larry about those ribs, because those are the remains of Cindy, and they were found in his possession under the cabin. He wouldn't be very hard to find, because this is what unnerves me about certain crimes and sentences and what have you. So Larry would be quite easy to find because he was already in prison. He had got sentenced to 8 years for importing and selling Disney character pins. Yes. Yeah, he should have never been released from that second rape that he committed where he kidnapped those 2 girls. He gets out and then he goes to prison for Disney pins. Okay. So wrapping up this story, detectives, they approach him about the case and he's gonna deny it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Finally, this guy breaks down and confesses. Yes. He says that he kidnapped her from the movie theater and that she fought back and he panicked and he killed her. He denies raping her, which is an outright lie. We all know he did. We all know he did. And due to sentencing guidelines, he was only sentenced for the murder. For the murder of Cynthia May Hernandez, he was only sentenced to 7 years to life. But the judge did say during the sentencing that I want you to know that even though it's 7 years to life, this is a life sentence. They have to go by the sentencing guidelines of what the laws were back when the crime was committed. So Gloria Densham, who has passed, I think she passed a few years ago in 2019, at least she went to her grave knowing that her daughter's killer was found and brought to justice. And this is the final resting place of Cynthia May Hernandez. So this looks like a nice place and a story that should have never happened. And hopefully this time they get it right and they never let that guy out ever again. All right, guys, I am out of here, hitting the road, heading up north. Got a couple stories to pin down in Central California. I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.